Good morning from Hong Kong. Hong Kong is famous for its rooftop views. Do you want to see mine? This is where I am right now. And this is my view. Maybe not the typical Hong Kong rooftop view that's advertised. So, where am I? Well, 10 years ago, The Guardian wrote an essay about caged housing here in Hong Kong. It was pretty impactful, and I'm going to link it below because it was a very interesting and obviously sad read. Anyway, the building that they talk about is the one I'm on top of, and anyone can come up here. There's no door on the stairs on the way up, so here I am. I don't know if beneath me is still caged housing, or whether that situation has since changed. And it's not appropriate for me to go downstairs and sniff about, so I won't be doing that. However, at some point, learning about how people in caged housing live would be a very interesting video if I can organise it ethically, because essentially you do genuinely live in a cage, and unless you're homeless in Hong Kong, it really is the most desolate and just tragic circumstances you can find yourself in here in Hong Kong, but it's far more common than people think. So yeah, I'm not going to be snooping about these people's homes, but I will be snooping about someone's home today, and I'm very excited to, because I think there will genuinely be a breathtaking rooftop view. Let's go check it out. Relatable. Okay. Taxi! Amazing. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Woo! Quick interjection just before the rain gets too heavy and I start exploring these luxury apartments. I had the address of the mansion, so I had the name of the mansion to get myself here. That was it. I thought it would be enough because I'm so used to it in London, etc. People just put it in Google Maps. However, 3 taxi drivers were completely stumped and had to send me away. And I was in a bit of a state because what can I do? I said I'd be here at a certain time, and it was looking like that wasn't going to happen. Anyway, the 4th person I hailed them down. I started talking to them through the window, and behind me, a really charming, it's raining really heavily, a really, really charming local lady came up behind me, started talking to me in Canto, and sorted it all out for me. And this isn't it a good view? Unfortunately, the weather's not brilliant, but I think it's going to look even better from a height. This kind of stuff just happens basically every day in Hong Kong. It's got a population of 7.5 million. So the people here have every right to be as grumpy as the New Yorkers, or I think Londoners actually get a bad rep, but they're certainly not as friendly as the people of Hong Kong. That's what big cities are meant to be like, right? A bit standoffish. But no, every single day I'm treated with incredible kindness. It's a very, very busy city where people live busy lives, but people always give me a little bit of extra time. And I just think the people here are wonderful. I'm sorry to suck up to them, but I think it's the thing I will remember most about Hong Kong when I leave. Okay, my friends, now, same view, different angle. Isn't it beautiful? And again, I do have to say, unfortunately, it's a cloudy day in Hong Kong, so you're not seeing the best of it. But I'm still pretty impressed, I have to say. And shall we say hello to my friend Steve?
Nice to meet you guys.
Hi, Steve. Steve and I connected on Instagram. He's a fellow Scot, so he's automatically sound. Steve, can you show me around this place, please?
Sure. So right now we're in the outside gym area.
Yep.
And also the dog area.
Oh,
so
nice.
People who live in this residence who have dogs, they can walk their dogs here. There's different obstacle course for them.
So cute. And based on what you've seen, what are the demographics?
Predominantly like expats, but mainly Hong Kongers or people, Hong Kongers who have been abroad and they come back to Hong Kong, they tend to stay here. Whereas the other, the sister residencies, they're predominantly more like Western expats.
Okay,
Yeah.
brilliant.
We're on the 25th floor now. This is where people tend to work from home and like, yeah, get coffee, tea, whatever, and yeah, be on their computers.
Let's go. So this is like communal workspace.
Yeah.
Very nice. So this communal area is huge, by Hong Kong standards at least, right? Where space is so limited. It's very beautiful. People are working though, so I don't want to be too loud. Wow. I'm so blown away by the view. Nice. Shall we get to your coffee?
Yeah, this is cream. Are you a coffee drinker or tea?
I drink tea. I despise the taste of coffee. What about yourself?
Yeah, I don't like the taste, but I like the smell of coffee.
I like the smell as well. I like the effect as well. All right, cheers, dude. Thanks for having me.
Cheers, no worries.
So my video, The UK is Dying and Needs to Vent, it attracted, I guess, quite a broad spectrum of people, but some of the people who it attracted were sort of, maybe you could say, a little bit political alternative. Is that a fair way to describe yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I like the word nuanced.
Nuanced.
Yeah, but yeah, alternative. Not, you can't put me in a category of left or right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people that just have slightly different ideas about how the UK should be ran. And I guess the reason it attracted them is because they've maybe been seeing what I've been saying coming for a while. So I'm talking about both ends of the spectrum here when I say that I attracted all sorts of different people. Maybe attracted is a strong word, but you know what I mean, caught the interest of. One of them was Steve. Steve, tell me a little bit about your political history.
So, a brief history of my political history. Then I was originally, I still am, I'm a Scottish nationalist, so I believe in Scotland being independent, and I still do to this day. But I started off being in the SNP. I was in the youth wing of the SNP. From 2015. I sadly became disenchanted by Nicola Sturgeon's leadership of the SNP, of the false promise of independence. You'd have like unionists and the media would constantly say, she's obsessed with independence, but it was all talk. She had no intention of delivering independence. It was akin to having a carrot dangled, vote for us to get independence. But once the election was over, independence was never mentioned for another 4 years. And she started going down this route of having divisive issues, be that like the name child policy. Can we edit that?
Yeah,
Sorry, yeah.
So
I'll
keep it in out of spite.
No, the Names Persons Act. That was the first like kind of red flag where you're going to have like a state trooper basically telling you if you were a good parent or not, and that was seen as infringing on civil liberties. I myself was still enthralled with the SNP at that point, so I wasn't really concerned about that. I was concerned about the way they handled Brexit, how they didn't capitalize on that. There was a clear opportunity to go for independence referendum after Brexit, but she kind of like shot out of it. Well, she did shut out of it. Some said she was too cautious. I used to think that. Now I think it was intentional. Like she had no plan. You always have the trans issue. Like, and no matter people's views on whether they believe trans people should exist, my view, they should exist, but the whole woman and putting a man in a female's prison, I mean, is that the hill you want to die on? I just wonder, like, how much of that was intentional to destroy the independence movement. Because right now, if we're being frank, independence for Scotland is currently dead just now. There's no alternative.
So what was your alternative?
Well, I left the SNP, and then for a few years I was teaching in Spain. I was in Madrid. It's kind of switched off from it. Still, my finger on it here or there because I'm a geek. I mean, you can't fully switch off if you're someone like me. But yeah, it came around late 2020, early 2021. Alba was being conceived by a group of people, and I was privy to the information about a potential new independence party. Now, previously, I was in a other independence party prior to that, the Independence for Scotland party, but that was a fringe party, and it was just a valve release for those of us who were fed up with the SNP. But Alba was serious because at the time, Alex Salmon was going to get involved, and he was finishing off his trials. And once he was cleared, he was going to announce he was part of Alba. Not only part of it, he was going to be leading it. So we were one of the founders, and so we were like planning their launch, which was the end of March 2021, before the election. And so there was a lot of excitement, and we were like, so yeah, you vote for the SNP in your constituency vote, because in Scotland we have two voting systems. We have the constituency, first past the post, and we have like proportional representation.
So Alba is basically, from what I understand it, the party that's sole or primary goal in Scotland is to achieve Scottish independence. And SNP is maybe the face of that, but Alba goes a lot harder. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, they want an independence. Well, they do. They want an independence referendum. They don't just want independence. They want to have the next Holyrood election. So the referendum's not going to happen. London is never going to give Scotland another referendum because they know they would lose it. We have the youth on our side and the demographics. So a self-interested entity like the UK, like Westminster, will never grant independence again. They gave it to us in 2012 for 2014 because they thought we were going to lose badly. So Alba's proposition and a few other parties' propositions is now, if we get an independence majority at next year's elections in 2026, that will be the de facto referendum, because you're voting for parties that advocate for independence. So if they get a majority, that is independence, and then you negotiate from there. Now, the SNP don't agree with that, and I myself have also drifted from Alba in the sense that they haven't really improved. If you track their progress from 2021 to now, they're basically a non-entity to the majority of Scotland. So for people like me, and there's many of us who are independent supporters, who want independence tomorrow, we know it's not going to happen tomorrow, and it's because of it's because of our own side, basically. It's because of the SNP, it's because of the incompetence of Alba as well, that Scotland is kind of stuck to a sinking UK.
Right. So any regrets of working with Alex Salmon, or you don't believe?
No. Alex Salmon was for independence, and Alex Salmon was done wrong by Nicola Sturgeon. He was set up on false charges, and he cleared his name. My argument is that Alba, since he's died, and even when he was there, it was Alex Salmon's show.
Yeah.
And you can't build a party with one person. And because,
especially not someone with his health, who's now dead.
Well, yeah, exactly. And there was an option with Ash Regan. She's the only Alba MSP in Holyrood. She was standing to be leader. Unfortunately, the membership voted against her. And we have Kenny McCaskill, the former Justice Secretary of the SNP, running Alba, and he's a non-entity. You go into his Facebook, you'll see Gaza, Ireland, Black History Month, nothing about Scotland, and nothing about getting Alba elected. So I'm no longer part of Alba or the SNP. I generally think we need a new party in Scotland, which will take about 6 years to develop, and yeah, it's going to be a long-term project to get Scottish independence, unfortunately. Hence why I'm in Asia, guys, because it's so depressing being in Scotland.
You've checked out. You can't be there right now.
You can. You get too invested. I've invested. Once you've been an activist and you invest so much time and years into a project that you think is going to get you independence, and you're led up to the top of the hill, only to be told that, oh, not yet. You waste so much years, so much energy, and so yeah. While I'll always love my country and I want Scotland to be independent, and if there's a referendum tomorrow, I'll be there. You have to realize that you have to sometimes just let things go. Kind of, I use the analogy of like having, like, say you have a friend or a sibling who is taking drugs. Sad, but it happens to some people. And say they always say, oh, I want to get help, I want to get better. And you give them all the advice, but they keep not taking that advice. Eventually, you're going to have to let them go, not indefinitely, but until they sort themselves out, you need to focus on yourself and for your health, walk away. And that's how I feel with politics in Scotland just now.
Actually, I feel similar from the perspective that for me, it was never about leaving the UK forever. I like Scotland specifically, and I love my family and friends, of course. But for me, it's like moving away. I call it a palate cleanse. I just need a little bit of time to refresh and to feel that if I seek opportunities in life, I will be rewarded with the opportunities. And for a while, I just wasn't feeling that in the UK at all. So yeah, I think we relate on that, at least, my friend. Do you think Scottish independence will happen?
I think it will happen in our lifetime, but it's not going to happen for at least a decade.
At least a decade.
I'm hoping to be proved wrong. Hence why my focus is more now on like US politics. I mean, like it's a shit show, US politics, but it's so fun. It's a reality TV show. I mean,
yeah. Do you want People's Lives to be a reality TV show though? I understand it's entertaining, but like, some people that's their reality. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, when I mean a reality TV show, I just mean it's more interesting. Like there's less filter. Whether their lives are any worse than, I would disagree that their lives are worse than anywhere else. If you're an American citizen, like their economy is growing, unlike the UK and most of Europe, with the exception of Spain. I'd say America's got it quite good. You don't need to like your president, but if he's doing a good job economically, then you don't need to like him personally or agree with him, or you can think he's crude or rude.
For sure. Yeah. Okay, so it will happen in it won't happen for at least a decade in your mind.
Yeah, and not because of Westminster, although they don't want it for obvious reasons, but because of the incompetence of the Scottish government and the independence movement, which quite sadly is dying. I used to go to the independence marches. The last one I went to was 2018 in my hometown of Stirling. Huge crowd. You're talking about 80,000 people. Now, there was one a few days ago at the weekend to mark the anniversary of the Battle of Bannockburn, where we won our independence in 1314. And honestly, the amount of people, I've seen more people outside like a Greg's or a Primark. That's how embarrassing it is. So I think it needs to be taken down and built back up again, but properly. Not like rushed parties like Alba and some other ones, non-entities, quite frankly. But we need a new party that's going to capture both unionists and nationalists and improve like the education system, the economy in Scotland, and opportunities. We have a brain drain just now. Many people are leaving because there's no opportunities there.
No.
And yeah, that's partly because we're not independent, but it's partly because we have bad governments in Scotland and in the UK. And anyone with, I don't want to say a brain, but anyone with a brain or smart brain cells, and they have the ability to travel and look after themselves, they leave and make a life for themselves.
Last question. Sorry. What's Hong Kong doing right that Scotland's doing wrong?
I mean, low taxes, a common sense health system, but it's very international, right? Hong Kong is low tax, multicultural, but it retains its identity. It's kind of what Scotland could be like if we had the economic powers, which we don't. So I think it's an unfair assessment because Scotland is like, we're not independent. We have one golf club. So you can't blame Scotland for not being like Hong Kong when it doesn't have the full basket of golf clubs.
Good analogy. Okay, fair play, Steve. Yeah, I quite like it here.
What's that? Just to sit down, just to chill. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Oh, wow. Okay, so it is raining pretty heavy. Oh, that's regrettable. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, welcome to a wet swimming pool.
Oh my, I'm so jealous. I don't even swim, but I'm so jealous. Wow.
It's good at night when it's clear sky and you see the city skyline. You just feel alive, you know?
This was my first impression of Steve was when we were messaging on Instagram, his story highlight was him doing laps here at night. And I thought, ugh, I kind of hate you. Your life is so cool. So this is what a day in Hong Kong looks like for me. I get up early, I film around different parts of Hong Kong, I talk to someone, a new person who has very interesting ideas. It's fun to hear from him. And now I'm on my way to work to teach 2 to 12-year-olds. And then tonight I'm going out for dinner. And it's a privilege to be in a period of my life where I'm getting to do so many new things and learn in so many different ways. Moving abroad definitely facilitates that experience. It's not the only way to do it. But yeah, for sure, if you're a young person, I'd 100% recommend moving abroad anywhere for a year, because in just 1 year, I have such a concentration of phenomenal memories that I know I'll be talking about for the rest of my life, just as my parents, who lived in Maine for a year, continue to go on and on and on and on about it to us growing up throughout our childhoods. And I could see from a young age, yeah, okay, that was just 1 year of my parents' life, but it meant a lot to them, and I should do it myself one day. So I'd like to thank my parents for that. And I hope to visit Maine one day, as well as other parts of Asia, here on this YouTube journey. So this shop, a few of them just opened up in Hong Kong about 2 weeks ago, and the line was huge. I mean, not that I was that interested in going in, but even if I was, I would have had to have waited half an hour. So I don't know what that's about, if it was a really good social media strategy they had going on, or if this is actually a very famous brand I'm just not familiar with. But then everyone came out eating these ice creams, or these crispy soft serve waffle cups. But look, it's like £6 for an ice cream. Who's buying that? How can that possibly be worth it? And look, that chocolate, one of those, just one, costs £3. Craziness. You'd have to be a fool to buy from here. Oh, thank you for the change, thank you. Some people are under the impression that Hong Kong is its own country, its own independent country. But that's not really true. No. It's actually part of a much larger country. I think it's called, it's either Nepal or Guatemala that Hong Kong is part of and belongs to. But I can't remember what that is right now. Anyway, this has been a pretty random video. So I have no idea what I'm going to title it. Maybe you guys have got some suggestions. I have also no idea how I'm going to end it. But don't worry, I'm not going to do it abruptly or anything. I will think of a